And we are live. Hello, people. I see we have people in the house. Good morning, people. This is Shel and Peg coming at you Thursday morning, 10:30 Central Time, live on Art Joy is Sharing. And if you're catching this later, we do this each week. So come and join us at 10:30 Central, 8:30 Pacific. And good morning, Shel.
Good morning. It looks like we have Lindy and Rennie. I think I need to shut the door. I can hear people talking in the background. So,
Okay. Well, I don't
good
even.
morning, ladies.
Let's see. I don't even have an auxiliary device up, but that's okay. Hey, Cindy Bagley, Rennie, Lindy, good morning. So today we're talking about kind of encaustic effects, but not really encaustic. I mean, if you know what encaustic is, that involves regular wax like this. This is beeswax. And you melt this down and you add a resin to it and color to it, and you make a waxy substance that goes onto a heated surface. And that's really complicated, really smelly, really messy, and we're not doing that.
Never.
What Shel and I decided to do was to get encaustic effects using other types of medium. And so this is a good book for you if you're interested in waxy things. This is from Sandra Duran Wilson. She has a number of books out there, but this one deals with encaustic effects, and it tells you all kinds of effects that you can get on surfaces using different variety of products. And some of them are not really waxy at all. Some of them are mixing other things like molding paste and that sort of thing. So, I mean, it's just talking about how to get those effects with things that you already have. So don't think that you have to rush out and buy encaustic or cold wax or anything like that, because there are other things that can be used. Right, Shel?
Yeah, actually, you can get a really interesting waxy effect using some of Seth Apter's thick embossing powders, particularly the one that looks like beeswax. I can't remember what it's called now. But yeah, I did rush out, and well, actually, I didn't rush out recently. Well, I did just buy this one. This one, Power Tex, is a cold wax medium that you can mix with acrylic. And I was really interested in this because all the other ones that I've seen, whether it's hot wax for encaustic or cold wax, like this one that I'm using right now, you have to mix with oil paint. And so I went and I bought this one just for this show. But I have two different boards prepared. I have one where I painted black gesso and then a coat of this Power Tex one that you can mix with acrylic over and let it dry overnight. And then this one, I put the coat of this Dorland's wax medium. This is what it says: translucent compound of waxes and resin to be mixed with oil paints, powdered pigments, color, sands, dyes, and other compatible fine art materials. Excellent for encaustic painting, hot or cold wax painting, and mixed media. Unparalleled as a sealing medium and protective matte top coat for paintings, wood, paper, plastic, metal, photographs, and more. For a luster finish, buff gently after dry, and it takes it a long time to dry. And this one, if you want to clean up, you're supposed to be using mineral spirits or solvent. Yeah, you can use it as an additive to make oil colors thicker. It's to use with oil paint, basically. But you can also do a lot of other cool things with it, like photo transfers and collage. And right now I decided to start my piece with some collage. So I just have this this printed tissue paper that I was using with the collage. I also was experimenting on here with oil stick, which I have these, what brand are they? I don't know. Anyway, they're Shiva.
Probably Shiva.
Yeah, Shiva oil sticks that you can write into the wax. I did have a layer on there before I started, which was dried overnight. I don't know if I said that or not.
Yeah. So I want to say hi to some more people joining us. We have Marie and Andrea and Becky. Scroll back and see if I can see anybody else. Cindy, Utter, Sybil. Hey, hello, people. We're glad you're here. So, one of the things that I want to tell you about is the websites for these products has a lot of information. If you go look at the Power Wax, you know, that's from PowerTex, and it's got information about the product. This one is from Gamlin because I have, you know, she was showing you Dorland's. That's one product. One that's easily accessible in most places is this Gamlin cold wax medium. You can get this from most of your art stores like Dick Blick or Jerry's or that type of thing. Hey, hi. We've got Vicki joining in too. So basically, when you open the jar, it's just this waxy appearing substance like this. Okay. It just looks like a clear wax. And you mix this with your oil. And you can use oil paint. You can use oil stick. You know, there's an oil pastel. There's a number of things that you can mix this with. This on this palette is actually the water-based cold wax, the PowerTech, and I have mixed it with different paints because this will accommodate acrylics. And I know you guys have some acrylics, so this one works with acrylics. This one works with oil. So, and I have a number of different oil products, but there are different levels or different grades too. If you look at my Shiva sticks, these are my artist quality Shiva sticks. These are my student quality Shiva sticks. So, I mean, if you don't want to invest a whole lot, you can get the student grade. You also can use oil impregnated pencils and things, like if you're going to use like these Jerry's Artorama. These are charcoal, but they're an oil base. So like if you're working on something that's oil based, or the China marker, you know, these things work well on this type of surface. So I created a palette here to start with. And I don't know if that's going to fit up there. I was going to put the PowerTex. Anyway, but there's a lot of things that you can spread them around with too. I have a number of tools. You know, I have these scrapers with different edges on them. I have palette knives, things like this to move it with. Not recommending that you put your brush into this because you're going to have to use a solvent to clean it. Brayers work fine with this. These silicone tools are going to be your friend. And then, of course, you know, our catalyst tools are good for this too. So, you know, one of the things that people like about encaustic is that you get that depth or dimension. And I think I had done an encaustic piece. I don't know if I did it on a live or if I did it just as an individual video. I'll have to try to find a link for that. But, you know, when I first got into this, I had done this piece using wax. Now, this has probably been sitting and drying for 6 months, so it is dry. But that's the problem with working with this product, is that it has a long dry time. So even when you have finished it, you need to set it aside and just let it dry. Let it dry down.
Takes a long time to dry it.
Yeah, and then, you know, there are other waxy things that you can use to seal things with. I mean, they have a wax varnish. I was going to show you, I've got my microglaze from Judikins. This is also a wax seal. So like if you're looking at something and you need to put a top coat on, this is a good product to use for that. Thanks, Barb.
I already took away the highlighted chat.
Where are those coming from?
I don't know. It's, you have to find the one that's highlighted and then click it and say hide.
Okay.
I already did it though.
All right, good. Okay, so you can work on a number of different surfaces. And for play, you can put it on paper. I mean, I've got paper taped down to a substrate here. But just know that if you're going to work on paper, when you finish your product, you probably want to put it in a frame under glass because you don't want to bend it because the wax will crack. So I've got one taped out here. And what I did with this one is I actually cut this piece at 7 inches and taped it down. These are just acrylic boards. I get these things like from the hardware store. And, you know, you can go to their scrap bin and find all kinds of plexiglass and that sort of thing that you can work on for palettes and for whatever you want to do. But I had taped this out because this is just, you know, a background. And now I see that my video is going wonky. The other thing that you want when you're working with these things is gloves or some kind of seal on your hands. These things are not good for your skin. Let me see if I can fix my camera. Killing me here.
Oh, that one's good.
Oh, maybe. So I'm gonna work on this piece, and for a start, because I've got the blues and greens out here, I'm gonna just start with those. And I've got, this is acrylic in the background, so I'm gonna use the acrylic on top of that. All right, why is this not coming up for me? Turn off the autofocus. Yes.
Stupid autofocus. Why does it keep coming back?
I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense to me at all. I mean, it's just like, why did those notices keep popping in there, and why did these other things keep popping up?
I don't know. I'm more interested in playing.
Yeah.
So what I did is I have 2 different ones. One of them is a piece of watercolor paper, and they're taped to old hard pieces of cardboard that were covers to different pads. This one is acrylic paper from Arteza, and that one is watercolor paper that I put black gesso before I put the coat on it. I keep getting my thing coming up here. So then on this one, I'm using the oil-based product, and I'm just going to have to peel that off. I got this piece of collage that just does not want to stick in. And I put the clear medium underneath and put all these collage pieces down by putting medium underneath and then over the top. And then now I'm applying some colors. And I just got an inexpensive, like $20, where did it go, set of oil paints because I was starting out with this. And I mixed 3 different colors. It looks like I got emerald green, cerulean blue, and Payne's gray mixed up. And I just mixed it on a scrap of watercolor paper, about 50-50 oil paint and wax medium. So that's what I'm working with now. And basically, from what I've learned about this, it's just layer upon layer upon layer. And then when you get enough layers, you can start to scratch things back with various tools. And I showed you while Peg was talking all the different tools I have on my desk, tons and tons of stuff, you know, different things, skewers, and, you know, I can take this skewer and do this and make marks in it. And that just peels the wax off and shows the previous layer. And then when I draw another color over the top of it, like this dark color, it'll go down into the grooves if I want. First I have to get enough on there to do it. And then I can take a harder one and I can scratch it. And I'll end up getting that, oh, this one's got bumps on it. I'll end up getting some of that dark color in the grooves, and then it makes the shape show. So that's just the type of stuff that it does. I'm not sure this is something that everyone wants to do. I just wanted to try it. I think my main lack of interest in it will probably show up when I realize how long it takes to dry.
Yeah,
I don't know.
The impatient, you know, this is a, yeah. And I like, you know, when I work with this kind of stuff, I like to start something. It might take me a month to finish a piece because you have to let the layers kind of set and dry. So I've got this much on here, but I also want to add an inclusion, and that's one of the things that's nice about this is that this stuff acts as your glue, you know, because you're layering up and putting things in between the layers. So your wax acts as your glue. And one of the things I want to try, one of the things that I had seen is I want to use some of the mineral spirits and some of the alcohol on some of these and just see what the effects are that I get. So we'll be doing a number of things here. One of the things I like is a skewer, you know, because I can, like she said, scratch into this using a skewer. And you're going to get pieces like this that come up, but you can just, you know, knock those off because you're actually scratching back into that. And then, you know, if you want to, I can take this pencil then and just let's do some writing here. This is like a semic writing. And that's just writing that, you know, nobody's really going to read, but, you know, it looks like somebody's doing something with a pen or pencil. Now I'm trying to figure out which of these pieces I want to use. So I need my water brush. I've got a napkin here. And I think I want to use some of these napkin pieces on here. And we'll see if something as delicate as a napkin is going to hold up in between the layers of wax. I'm hoping it will.
It will after it's embedded. Unless, of course, you're messing around and you catch all the edges like I'm doing and pull it up.
Yeah.
I just pulled that one up too. But eventually, I mean, eventually there's going to be so many layers on there that's not going to matter.
Well, and the thing here is I'm going to just take some right out of the jar wax to put this down with. Because you can't take a brayer over the top of this. It's just going to roll that tissue up. It's just going to, you know, make a mess. So I'm just going to take some clear right out of the can. Oh, and then I picked the wrong kind. This is the problem when you got two different products out that you're working with. Got the wrong kind here. All right, wipe that back. And get the right jar, Peg. That one goes with those. So set it aside and get this one out. Okay, so this is the power wax. This is the water base. And I'm going to take my knife, grab a little bit of that, and I'm going to put this down on the surface
Yeah.
with a clear coat. And this, you know, you guys, this is not going to be dry or finished by the end of today. It's
Nope.
just, you know, in process. So I'm liking that. I think I want to add another flower though. So let me get my water brush once again. And tear out another piece of this napkin. So do you guys have any questions about cold wax that we can help you with? Has anybody here worked with the cold wax?
No, it's not going to work, is it?
Bye, Cindy. See you soon.
Running away already?
Yeah. Well, you know, not everybody's interested in what we're interested in. And I get that. And they may have other things going on in their life. Good grief.
No way.
Okay, so I'm going to get this layer down on this piece, and then I'm going to set it aside and I'm going to work on something else. So I'm happy with where this one is going. Oh, see, I ended up tearing that because I got too rambunctious.
Into my rag. I've lost all my rags. I guess it's time for a new one. Sybil said she stayed clear from the wax.
Step away from the wax.
I have to, pretty much. But I did want to try. So when I heard there was one that I can mix acrylic into, that's when I got excited.
Yeah, and honestly, I have done all of it. I mean, I did the regular encaustic. Many years ago. I don't know if you guys know who Claudine Helmuth is. Claudine Helmuth was into the wax, and I had gone to take a class with her. And later I found out that it really was not a beneficial class because we were using beeswax, but there was no resin in it. So what happens when you take beeswax out in the heat? With no resin, it doesn't set up. So I don't know if she was really ready to be teaching that class because, yeah, we were just using beeswax, like the stuff I was showing you, and we were melting it down in a crock pot, and we were using crayons and things in it and inclusions and all of that. So I mean, you know, it was a fun class, but it really wasn't an art class that was teaching me how to use encaustics. Let me just say that. So this one is at a point where I want to set it aside to dry for a bit before I add more layers and things into it. This is a panel I had started yesterday, and I did videotape it as I started it. I put the color on, and I had let's see if I can back this out anymore. I had put the wax on, and then I had used some tools to get texture in here, and then I put some cellophane over it to try to get more of this mottled look and let it dry. But this is not dry, folks. I don't live in Arizona. This is not dry. So I'm going to set this palette aside and grab a few other things from my stash.
I'm having fun with my palette. It's got a lot of gunk on it, but it's kind of fun.
Hey, Sharon, hi. Yeah, so I need to clean that off. But what I think I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to mix up some of my Shiva sticks. Let me get another palette to work on here. I'm gonna grab a piece of acrylic. This is just an acrylic block. I'm going to get some. Now, when you get these, you're gonna think they're all dried up. These seal over. They're waxy substance, and when you use them, they are wet. But when you get them out, after you've stored them for a while, it's going to have a coating over it that's set up, that's dried out. So you just take a tissue or, something, and you're going to peel the skin off, okay? So you're going to grab that top layer and peel that skin back to reveal what's wet underneath. Now, these are those student grade oils. And you can tell that it's got the pink in here, and somewhere on it, I think it tells you that it's the student grade one. Yeah, student red right here. So these have the this is cobalt blue, and it says professional on it. And then they also have these are the, oops, wrong one. These are what they call the iridescents. And so these are going to be like your metallics and that. Typically, when you think of the oils, you're not looking for the shine. So it's kind of strange that you've got an iridescent. But, I used to use these for a lot of stenciling, which is great. Like if you, let me show you. If you take a, oops, I'm running out of space already. If you take a, say an image like this, don't know which way I want this to go. Doesn't really matter. If you take this and take a stencil brush, grab one of those. Stencil brush is flat on the end and is stiff. This is what they call a scrubber stencil. And you grab a stencil. I don't know what I want to use on here. Let me just get, I think I want some, because it's got circles, I think I want something with circles. So let me just grab this one. All right. And I want to use something in the same color families here. Let me get this orange and just put some of that down. So I've laid some of the color down here on my palette, and then I can pick that up with my stencil brush. See how it's loaded into the brush now? I want more. I want it to come up into my brush a little bit more, so I'm going to load some more. Get it loaded in there. And then I can come into my I still don't have enough. Come into my painting and add the oil this way. And then if you want to seal that, you could put a clear coat over the top of that, you know, to seal it in. Let's see how we're doing here. Okay, the orange isn't showing up on that pink real well, but it's there. Let's see. Yeah, right. I mean, that can give you the same effects by, like, I've had this stuff for many, many years because, like I said, I used to teach in stores and do a lot of stenciling and stuff for different companies. And so, you know, I don't know how old these oil sticks are. I really don't know how old those are. They're ancient, but they're still good because you just peel back the skin and use it.
One interesting effect that I've noticed with the wax, if you like matte, if you like things to be very, very matte and not shiny, then wax is for you. It is the biggest mattifier I've ever seen.
Yep.
It makes everything super matte. Unless you buff it, apparently. But I don't have any to buff, so I don't know if that's true. But I think that's kind of cool. I'm just mixing some acrylic paint with some of this PowerTex one. PowerTex called. It's different than the other stuff. It looks different and it feels different. More like a medium that you would expect, you know, like a gel medium or something, but it has that mattifier in it, so it must have something in it. It makes them call it wax. I also have all these sticks that are all gunked over. I don't. When I opened up the other one, I felt like I was wasting a lot of it. These are. Oh, I can't read it. It says Shiva, but other than that, I can't read what anything says. But they're small.
Well, the Shiva does come in sets of smaller ones. They have sets with like 4 or 5 different colors in them in the small sample size. So if you just want to get a set of small ones to try, that's a good way to start. There's also small sets like this. This is American Tradition stencil paint, and it's just a small little sample set to try. So, you know, there's stuff out there. If you don't want to invest like in a whole stick or something, they do have smaller things to give it a try.
Yeah, this was a set, and it looks like it has 12. So 12 little ones is what I got.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm going on this one. I'll just go ahead and start with what I was going to do for you. I'm going to take this and I'm going to take that red. Where's my knife? Just going to cut a piece of that off. And I'm going to mix that with some of the Gamlen's cold wax. So let me get a little bit of that. And you want to do about a 50-50 ratio. And it'll take a little bit to work that in. But you just, keep folding and working and get your color into your wax. And the nice thing about this is it's going to take a while for this to dry out. So, you can have this out on your palette and work for quite a while. It's not like your paint that's going to dry up immediately.
I don't know that I find that nice.
What's that?
I don't know if I find that nice.
Well, I know, Shel. I know that's not your cup of tea, but I'm just saying.
I like to wait. For
those of us who like to take their time working, it's a benefit, So, all right, I'm going to get that pencil. And I'm just going to, add some stuff in here. And then I'm going to take a knife or what do I want here? I think I will just take I thought I had a credit card out here. Well, anyway, I've got lots of tools. Like I said in the beginning, these are from Ranger. It's got all these different teeth on it. And these, these are not just for wax. You can use these if you're making paste paper or any of those types of things, working on your gel plate. And because they're clear, I just put some tape on the edge so I can find them on my desk. Because we know we have problems. This is actually, I used for a bone folder for years. But this is another little scraper tool. This is something cheap from the hardware. Works fine. They have catalyst tools and things that are very expensive, or you can just go to the hardware and get the cheap stuff. I mean, these notch spreaders, you can get at the hardware real easily. This was 69 cents, So
you don't want to spend money, you can just use a credit card, and you can
and then
card.
You go to the art supply and you get a catalyst tool, and they're going to charge you 10 times as much. So
I was watching different videos about cold wax seem to all be enamored with this thing that they call a bowl scraper, which is from the kitchen tools.
Which is very much like this.
Yeah, but it's real flexible, and I can see why now, because when I'm using all these more firm tools that I have, like these plastic ones and stuff, I think that they're making marks in the wax, and maybe something that's real flexible would not do that as much. So I'm not getting like a completely smooth application, because I tend to put these metal ones up on their edge too much. You need to keep it flat. I thought the hard plastic one with the sharp edge would be the thing, but I'm not so sure that's true.
No, I mean these are pretty flexible, and these you just get at the hardware store. You know? And I like these, but that's why a credit card works real well too, because they are flexible. I'm liking the underneath colors coming through here.
Yeah, I think that's the thing with the waxes. It's about what's underneath. You put something over the top and you let it layer, you let it dry a little bit, and then when you come back, you're like making interesting marks by revealing the under layers. You want to make sure the under layers are interesting.
Yeah. So I've got a little bit of this red left. And I think what I'm going to do is I have some white here somewhere. There we go. I've got some white. I'm going to add a little bit of white to that. Bring it back to a pinkish tone.
I would classify this as messy.
Oh, well, you know, we're messy girls, so.
I'm getting it all over.
Works for me. You know, I like messy. And this is, okay, this is not the pink I want. So I can adjust that a little bit because I want it more of a blue pink. So I'm just going to take a little bit of this blue oil stick. I have to clean the end of that one off. And mix a little of that blue in.
So this one that's oh man, this is very this one that's acrylic mix in cleans up with soap and water, it says. Which is probably makes me happy. Roll this off on. Need a piece of scratch paper.
So there's a lot of mixing and trying and, you know, layering and, you know, back and forth. The dance, the back and forth dance with this stuff. But you have plenty of time to play, which is one of the things I like about it.
Pretty clean.
And one of the things that I like about using the acrylics versus the paint sticks is I just don't have that many colors in the paint sticks as I do in the acrylics.
Yeah, pretty much everything that I own is like some sort of an acrylic.
Yeah. So I was really excited when I found the wax medium that was going to work with the acrylics. It's like, oh, yeah, now we're talking.
And then she told me about it, and then I had to buy it.
Sorry.
It's always what happens. I see something, and then, yeah. It's not like I didn't already have enough stuff, you know?
Yeah,
Okay.
but you know, we're stuck at home and we need stuff to play with, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so now I've got those layers down there. I want to come back and create something in those layers. So let me see, what do I want to use? Oh, and then this is another little tool. This was an old Making Memories tool that I've had for years. So let me pull that down. And then, you know, you want to, once you do that, it's kind of like paste paper. You need to clean the stuff off before you go back in.
Barbara's calling us enablers. It's true.
Well, you know, think about what you have already and then what you can add to your stash that's going to enhance things. And yeah, okay, we are enabling to some point, but then you also know that we're telling you about things that you can get that are not, that are just an addition to what you already have, not just random something that you have to buy everything.
And we're
You
also,
know, I watched something the other day where somebody was watching some hot wax, and they went out and spent hundreds of dollars because they were buying the wax medium and the palette to put it on and the heat tool and the, you know, it's like, oh my gosh. Now, one thing about this is you do not want to heat it. Wax is not meant for heating. So you're not going to dry it using a heat tool.
actually, this Jacquard Dorland's wax does say you can heat it.
Yeah, I'm not going to.
But the acrylic one, definitely not. Why would you heat an acrylic anyways?
Yeah, right. So I don't care what they say about it. It's not going to get heated in this house.
Thank you, Marie. I'm just messing around. So one thing I did want to say is part of what we do here, both on the live stream as well as our own channels, is to spend our own money to buy stuff and try it out in front of you so that you don't have to. So we are providing a service.
Yes, we do.
Because if you're watching us do this and you think, that's not for me, then you're not going to go out and buy it. But maybe if you'd seen it before and you thought you wanted to, you know. So I know that underneath this is black. So if I scrape it back, I know that I will have black.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
So one of the things I wanted to try, I have some, this is just odorless mineral spirits. Oh. And I wanted to try using some of that on here to see what effect I get. So I'm just going to take a pipette and drop a little bit of the odorless mineral spirit on here and see what it does. I'm hoping that we get a cool effect.
It should dissolve it, right? So
it should, you know, so I'm going to let it sit there for a little bit. And then I'm going to come back with a tool. If I get my tool cleaned up here.
I need some more orange. I kind of lost my orange. My little contrasty orangey color disappeared.
You know, because what we do a lot of times is just play with things. Part of my whole art experience is just trying things out, and you know, you can get small samples of things, try it out, and then you don't have to go to a great big canvas or something. You can just give something to go. So I've got my layers here. I've got my background. I've put the odorless mineral spirits on here, and now I'm going to swipe across and see what happens.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, not a lot.
I don't have any odorless mineral spirits, so I'm not sure how I'm going to clean up.
Alcohol.
Alcohol.
Yeah, that's the next thing. You know, I've got. Okay, I tried the odorless mineral spirits. I'm going to blot that. And this time, I'm going to, this is just the 91% isopropyl rubbing alcohol. This time I'm going to try the alcohol and see what happens and see if there's a difference.
I do have alcohol.
Well, you know, sometimes when you add alcohol to acrylics, you get these really cool
splotches. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I thought, well, let's try that and see what happens. So yeah, it just seems to be sitting on the surface, not doing a lot. Let's see if it picks up. See if we can get it to pick up. Yeah, I'm unimpressed with that also. Although it did take it back more to the undersurface. So maybe that's what it's about. Because I can see some of that undersurface now that was kind of going away with all the layers. But the reason I'm trying some of these techniques are these are some of the things that I saw in that book I was showing you, where people were trying different techniques. I'll come back to that. And so that's part of what I do is I'll read something, I'll try a product, I'll experiment, and then see what the results are, you know, because until you try something, you don't know how that's going to affect the piece that you're working on. Hey, Nell.
Ugh.
Okay, she's been on the phone. So, okay, you can see the layers are starting to come together here. And I'm liking that. But it's time to take a look at something else here. I'm just kind of cleaning some of that off the edge. Now, the thing about this, you know, if you're working on paper like this and you like it, the reason I made it 7 by 7 is because I can actually cut it down and put it on a 6 by 6 cradle board if I need to. So let's go back to this one, which was I'm going to put these oil sticks aside now for a while and put my can of Gamlins aside. Now, cost effective wise, the Gamlin I think is probably cheaper than the cold wax from PowerTex, which is the acrylic one. So if you're looking for something that's a little more cost effective and you've got oil sticks already, I mean, you know, you can use your oil pastels. One of the things that's really cheap, let me see if I can find them for you. They should be up here. Here. These are something that you can use. They're oil pastel. They're water soluble. And very inexpensive.
Yeah,
so
oil pastels are super inexpensive.
Yeah, and this is something that you can use quite easily. But you see, they're like this, and you get a lot of different colors.
I should have got those out. I didn't think of those.
So I'm going to go back to that panel that I had started, which is this one. And I'm going to grab that, get it in here, into focus. I'm going to grab that palette that I created with those colors that I like. And see, what do I want to do here? I wanted to add some collage to this, and I'm not sure what direction I want to go here. I've got tissue, I've got gel prints. Let's see what, so what I do is before the show started, I went and shopped my supplies, and just started pulling out some of these things that I thought I might use today. See, here's just one of those backgrounds, and I gel printed these, so I can just put those down on a substrate. I really like this one. It's pretty cool. But all these tissues with the contrast are very cool too. Like, I like this one because it's got the gold in it. I like that one because it's got the textural stuff. Here's another one of those pieces that I cut down to use. This I thought would be really cool. This one has some of the alcohol inks on it, and you can use alcohol inks with this stuff, okay? So maybe I'll use some of this. Yeah, let's do that, because that's got alcohol ink on it. And that's different from what we've been working with these other things. Might as well see it all, right? See it all here first. I'm just going to tear some of that tissue down. And this is some, I can tell right away, this is some of that Marabou alcohol ink, because it's got, see that shimmer in there? Only Marabou has that. And I think Joggles still has a good price on that Marabou.
Did they?
I think
they had
so.
An excellent price when I bought it.
Yeah.
Whole set at once.
Let's see, how big is this? Oh, that should work. Yeah, I think it is deli paper. Yeah, I said tissue, but that, I have different papers, and deli is very much like tissue. This one actually does not have any wax coat on it, so it's not like a deli because it doesn't have any wax coating. So it's more like a tissue than it is like a deli. Does that clarify it? I don't know. I mean, I use a lot of different kinds of paper. I use rice paper, I use deli paper, I use tissue paper, I use papers that are from the hardware, like the red rosin and I like to experiment with all different types of surfaces. So, that's part of the fun, is just playing around. Oh, toward that crooked. But it's fun to have this kind of stuff in your stash to use when you want to. So I think I'm going to add some dark to this. I've got a little bit of dark through the middle, but I'm going to get a little bit of this blue, which is the azurite hue. Just put some of that down. And then I'm going to grab some of the Payne's Gray, add a little bit of that in there. And let's see, clean this off of here. It's kind of a mix now on my kind of a mix on my tool, so I'm just going to blend here.
I need to let this dry.
Yeah. And add a little more of that. Blue in here.
I enjoy that shape.
And then let's see, I want to add some of this turquoise in here. In a couple of places. Okay, we're thinking about what we're doing. We've gotten quiet.
True. I'm thinking I should let mine dry because it's just getting too, the colors are mixing too much.
Yeah, They would do that to you for sure. Okay, and then I want to add some nickel azo.
More layers.
Get that nickel azo in there.
What a mess. There's messy junk everywhere. It's a good thing I got a brand new package of baby wipes.
Yep.
All right, what shall I do with this one? I know there's black underneath. I know there's some Shiva stick underneath. I don't know what I want to do with it. What do I want to do?
Good question.
Good question.
Yeah, and you know, you can see that some of this stuff is mixing on my palette too. I don't really care because I'm gonna end up scraping some of this back, but I want to embed some of this. I'm not sure where I want to go with it.
The acrylic stuff is definitely drying quicker. Like this already has a thick coat over it. Of course, I live in a very dry climate, but also it's humid today. So, of course, what we consider humid and what other people consider humid is different.
Yes.
It is monsoon season, so it's not the same as it normally is.
Not the same, no.
And we have had a few.
Are you getting your range yet?
Yeah, we've gotten a few. The ones that I like, which it's like perfectly sunny and hot, and then all of a sudden this cloud rolls in, and then 2 seconds later it's pouring rain like buckets, and then 15 minutes later it's gone.
Huh.
That's what I consider a monsoon.
Yeah.
And I find those, I mean, I go outside and dance in it. I find it absolutely thrilling. So I always am excited when we get that. So wiggling this catalyst tool back and forth and making weird marks is kind of fun. The catalyst tool is more flexible, you know. It's very flexible actually. And sometimes your very favorite tool is just a skewer from the kitchen drawer.
Yep, that's for sure.
They are fun.
So what I'm trying to do now is connect some of these things. You know, I'm actually thinking a little bit about what I'm doing here.
I suppose thinking is good. Occasionally.
Sometimes it helps. So I'm just going to embed these pieces. And then I'm going to come back. I like that darker tone, but I don't have any up there anymore. So I need to add a little more of that in here. And let's get a little bit of this joining together. Okay, so now what do I have here? Oh, this thing's sliding around on me. Okay, so now I've got a lot of stuff in the background. And these little tools like this work really well too, because you can use them to add to your piece. Get to the under layer. How are we doing time-wise? Oh, we got about 15, looks like.
Really, only 15 minutes?
Yeah.
I don't think I'm even close to doing anything. I mean, these things aren't going to be done-ish at all.
No, and you know, I didn't really think we would get anywhere near done, because these are layers. These are, you know.
Like that could completely change by the time it's done. It could be like something completely different.
It just, you know, it keeps changing every time you touch it.
Yeah.
That's what's kind of cool about it, I think. I was wondering, let's give this a try. I'm going to take some of that mineral spirit. Actually, I think I want to add some of that green first. Going to get some of that green into this one too. That's a little bit much. All right, so what was I thinking? I was thinking of taking yeah. I think I need a I was thinking of taking some of the color. I don't have the color I want out here. I was thinking of taking some of the color and diluting it with some mineral spirits. So this is just, let me get another palette. What did I do with that other one? Here. This is just some of that oil stick. Okay. And I'm just getting some color down. And then I'm going to take some mineral spirits and dilute that, because that's oil. Then I want something to blend that up with. So I'm going to get a not so nice brush. What have I got here? Yeah, this one here. Blend that up with the mineral spirits. I think I need some more. Okay, so now I've got that stuff saturating my brush. I was hoping I could get it to splatter. Of course, it doesn't want to splatter like paint. Okay, does not want to splatter like paint. I want to bring some of that pink or red back in here. And it's just not working for me. So in that case, let's see if I can get this to pull now. I've got a deeper layer on here. It's all about experimenting. Sometimes, you know, you have to go through the ugly stages before you get to something you really like.
That's true.
Still not affecting it at all, really. I can see an overpainting going on this. This would be a great background for an overpainting.
Yeah. All these little goobers. Get away, goobers.
So I wonder what I've got. I wonder what I've got for a... Oh, I bet I've got something good.
I think we're about out of time. 8 minutes. Yeah. Attack of the slime. I've been attacked.
I know what I'm looking for. I just got to remember where I put it. Okay, here we go. I've got this Trish McKenna stencil.
Oh yeah, there you go.
And I will get some... I want a contrast to this. So I'm going to mix up some more paint here. Okay, I've got some red oxide. That I'm going to mix with, what do I do with the wax? Okay, come out wherever you are. Too much stuff on my desk again.
I don't know. I don't know where this is going. I think I'm just going to put a coat of clear over the top and just let it rest for a while. fill in some of those holes. Because then if I put more layers over the top, they will skim over and skip the white and not fill in the cracks. And I can keep the white kind of protected, I think.
Okay, so get that mixed up. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Got my mixture. And got a little blue on this tool, but that's okay. I'm just gonna go with it. Getting close to time here, so gonna get some of this and start. I'll bring some of this.
Got a big buckle in the middle of my paper. Don't know why.
Okay, let's see what we got. Oh, that pulled all of that up. That wasn't supposed to happen. So I'll have to fix that. Just getting too wet, I think.
Ugh.
I think that's what's going on. So let me get.
So that was a layer of clear over the top, which looks like white in the Power Text. It's actually clear. And I put a coat of the clear over this one too, with the Dorland's oil medium one.
Yeah, this
I'm
definitely.
gonna let all these dry. Not gonna make a video today. A speed video. Because they both need more work.
That's the panel. This is the piece I started with the napkin. This is the piece I started on the paper. So that's about it for today, guys. Thanks for stopping by. Hope you enjoyed seeing us play around with products that are a little unusual for us and maybe even for you. If you got any tips, tricks, or anything you can share with us, let us know. And we will be back next week. So we'll see you then.
I do need to answer the question of Ingrid's.
Okay.
With the acrylic or the oil mixed with the wax, it becomes permanent. You don't have to seal it. There is no sealing involved. If you want to have a shiny surface, a more shiny surface, you can make sure that there's a whole clear over the top, let it dry for a couple weeks, and then buff it. But there is no reason to put any of that sealers, any kind of sealers on it. In fact, you can use it as a sealer over other things if you want to.
Right. So remember, I was showing you the wax product that you can, just buff stuff out with, which was from Judikins, which is the microglaze. That's another wax product that you can seal with. So wax always works as a top layer.
Yeah.
They also have matte varnishes and things that you can get. So, I mean, just go to their website, investigate, because they'll have all the products and things for you and all the information that you need. Okay?
Yep. In fact, I use beeswax furniture polish on my acrylic pages that stick together in my journal.
Yeah.
So wax is always a sealer.
Yeah. So thanks, guys. We'll see you again soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.